Hugo was born in the wild, but then rounded up by hunters when he was around 3 years old while swimming off the coast of Washington. He was moved to the Miami Seaquarium, some 3,000 miles away from his home waters, and was held in a tiny pool for 2 years until a new full enclosure was constructed, dubbed the Celebrity Pool. He lived in that tank for 2 years, performing daily. Then, in August of 1970, Lolita, the orca, was captured. Lolita was purchased for $6,000 by the Miami Seaquarium. A small circular tank was constructed for Lolita called the Whale Bowl. Hugo and Lolita started to call out for each other, so the trainers put them together. At first, they were aggressive towards each other. In addition, Hugo became aggressive towards his handlers. Nevertheless, the orca completed 5 to 6 shows per day for 10 years. Hugo and Lolita were together. Lolita was pregnant a few times, but never delivered a live offspring. However, after spending so long in isolation, the marine mammal's behavior deteriorated as he would become aggressive with his trainers and appear to self-harm. He is claimed to have regularly smashed his head against the side of his tank and allegedly attacked trainers in the pool with headbutts and bites. Once he even broke the glass viewing windows, cutting off the tip of his nose. After repeated acts of self-destructive behavior, Hugo's demise came on March 3, 1980, when he suffered an aneurysm, a buildup of blood in the brain. It was called an act of suicide. Hugo had spent 12 years in captivity at the Seaquarium. The saddest part, after all these years of performing and making millions for the Miami Seaquarium, his body was ditched into a dump. No plaques, no statues, no mention of him anywhere at the park. He never saw the ocean or his mother again. This is a determinate sign. These animals don't belong in confined spaces. Research has proven that orcas have a number of complex cognitive abilities, such as self-recognition and the ability to feel empathy, which means that cetaceans, just as humans, are vulnerable to emotional and social stresses that can lead to considerable harm. Lolita still lived alone in her tank with no other killer whale companions. She had been living in that same tiny tank for over 50 years and was the oldest living killer whale in captivity before her demise in 2023. When you see an orca in captivity, you see them just either lying there or you see doing abnormal, repetitive behaviors. That might be chewing on the concrete, it might be swimming in a circle. They just go round and round the tank. They typically surface at exactly the same spot. And the fact that these animals can't travel, they're confined within these tiny little blue cylinders, is really, really difficult to watch. It's just tragic that she was kept in there in that torturous environment for this long. Orcas are not pets. They are wild animals who deserve their freedom,